Tomi Lahren tweeted something the other day that I couldn't believe. I mean, I know that she's a right-wing commentator, and so therefore the bar is pretty low, but this was below that bar. I was like, really? You couldn't, you didn't get this one? You didn't get it? So she fell for the most obvious hoax of all time. It says, this was placed in mailboxes in Stafford, Virginia. Repulsive. And then you have a list. This is a list supposedly from Black Lives Matter, and it says the following. Attention, white men, women, and children. You are the enemy. We will not stop until there are more white homicides than black. We will not stop until all white people are sent to re-education camps. We will not stop until white people pay extra taxes to support black individuals. We will not stop until black power runs all government. We will not allow any white person to date another race. We support no white-owned business. Hate is okay if directed at white families. So, you're reading that as a normal human being and going, oh, that's obviously fake. That's clearly some right-wing group trying to make Black Lives Matter look bad. And so they write that and they put it in mailboxes, and then idiots online run with it. I'm sure some people on the right are running with it cynically, knowing it's BS. Others are actually silly enough to fall for it. But it's obvious. It's obvious. You want to know why? That's so extreme and goes so far that even elements of Black Lives Matter, who I might think go too far, would never go that far. That is so far. So she thought it was real. She thought it was real. You want to know why? Because this is what happens when you live in your bubble. When you live in your conservative bubble and you think, hey, the liberals and the lefties are the enemy and the conservatives are the good guys, well, then you can straw man and you can create a caricature and a stereotype that is your enemy. And so there's nothing you would put beyond them because they're just bad, full stop. There's no nuance in individuals. There's no case-by-case analysis, issue-by-issue analysis, points of agreement, even if it's super rare and it's only 2% or 3% of the issues. There's none of that. They're just comic book villain evil. And so when that's your view of the world, when you're ruthlessly and viciously partisan, this is the result. There's no governor in there that goes, well, this one's a little questionable. Really? They went this far? Really? There's none of that. Now, by the way, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff going on in the corporate identity politics world that are just vomit-inducing, okay? Matt Taibbi wrote a brilliant piece on that White Fragility book, which has become a #1 bestseller, and he rips it to shreds. It's basically, that book is toxic, and it's teaching some terrible, terrible stuff. And the reason why this has become okay, this book has become mainstream in a way, is because it's a way to talk about these identity issues without really going after any of the systemic problems that really plague the country, like a racist criminal justice system, like a racist drug war, like pay disparities, for example. We've covered the study about resumes where if you put a black name and a white name, the white name gets way more hits than the black name, or the eBay sales study with a black hand holding the same product versus a white hand holding the same product. There are real problems to discuss, and the problems are with the system, with the laws, with the policies. This book makes it so that now it's all individual and interpersonal, and let's focus on microaggressions and make sure that we make things so awkward that no people of different races can be friends ever again. So I highly recommend you read Matt Taibbi's article on that. So I'm not saying that everything going on right now is perfect when it comes to race and that the left is totally right. No. But what I am saying is the fact that she fell for this says a hell of a lot more about her than it does about anything else. But thankfully, this story does end on a happy note where she did come out and apologize and say, I'm sorry, this was a total hoax, and I fell for it, and I'm genuinely happy that this is not something that Black Lives Matter is pushing for, so on and so forth. So at least there is a happy ending here. But See, this is why we can't have nice things. I mean, there's many reasons why we can't have nice things. There's many reasons. But one of the reasons is the comic book villainification. Wow on that one. Of just average human beings. Where if we were willing to be more open-minded and more objective, you probably would have instantly known that something's off with that mailer, and it's obviously not something the left is pushing.